The Royal Rumble is officially in the rear view mirror. We are officially on the road to WrestleMania 42. And the one thing we know for certain is that Roman Reigns is back on top. And now he's in line for his first title shot since WrestleMania 40. It's almost ridiculous to say. It feels ridiculous to say that no show for WWE in 2025 ended with Roman Reigns on top. They kicked off the year on the Raw and Netflix debut. Roman Reigns was the first match. And yes, he did win that match for the Ulafala. He did beat Solo Sikoa, but that was the opener to Raw on Netflix. At the Royal Rumble, his next appearance, Jey Uso won the match. Roman Reigns didn't. His next match, WrestleMania main event, triple threat match, night one, Seth Rollins comes out on top. The next time he is in action is SummerSlam, a tag match that leads off night one of SummerSlam. And who gets the win? Not Roman Reigns. He wins, but Jey Uso gets the pin. Jey Uso's music is the one playing throughout MetLife Stadium. Clash in Paris, Roman did beat Bronson Reed, but it wasn't in the main event, and he didn't walk out under his own power. He got beat down by Bronson Reed in Paris. At Crown Jewel, he lost, pinned by Bronson Reed. And then his team loses in War Games. So 2025 was not a great year for the Tribal Chief. But now he's back. Kicks off 2026. First appearance, because he didn't appear to declare for the Royal Rumble. He just sent in a video package and said, hey, prepare something for me. I'm in. And he's back. He was in it, and he won it. I'm excited to see what 2026 brings for one of, if not, the biggest stars that wrestling has had in this decade. In the 2020s, Roman Reigns is at number one, and you could make the argument that he's sharing that spot with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes' ascension this decade is something that could rival a title run that we saw from Roman Reigns. But I think most people would agree Roman's the guy. Roman is the face of WWE and has been for some time. So to have him back on top, to have him back on track after losing the title 2 whole years ago is something that I'm excited to see. Hopefully we see more of him, because I just ran through all the matches he had in 2025, and it is 7. We're already at 1. Hopefully we see more of Roman Reigns in 2026. And if he's the WWE and or World Heavyweight Champion, you'd have to imagine we're going to see a heck of a lot of Roman Reigns. But that's not the only thing that happened. Let's talk about the rest of the Royal Rumble PLE. First of all, the men's Rumble. Bron Breakker, somebody who I thought was going to be in the Final Four, somebody who I thought was going to get the wheels set in motion for him to take on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. We didn't even get that far because he didn't even take on Femi, who we'll have to talk about. Bron Breakker gets attacked as the number 2 entrant by a masked and hooded figure, and he gets eliminated in less than 10 seconds by Femi. So what's going on with that? Who was the masked figure? And where does this leave not just Bron Breakker, but the entire Vision, who I guess you could extend Brock Lesnar into that grouping as far as yesterday or Saturday was concerned, and look at it and say, what's next for them? Because they did not have a great Rumble. Paul Heyman did not have a good night in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And then there's the Femi of it all. We have for almost a month been seeing vignettes that Femi is coming. And then a couple of weeks ago, there was a little thing added at the end that says coming to the Royal Rumble. He makes his official main roster debut as number 1 in the Royal Rumble. And I'm happy about that because for no other reason, we got to see him take his time coming down with the Oba strut. Kind of introduce everybody that hasn't already seen it, anybody that didn't watch NXT during his run or didn't watch John Cena's last match, Saturday night's main event, you introduce Obafemi to a broader audience. And boy, did he make an impression. He enters at number 1. He lasts the second longest of anyone besides Javon Evans, who had a great showing as well. But he gets the first 5 eliminations of the Royal Rumble, and he just looks dominant. What he was able to do in that ring put him neck and neck with some of the biggest names, the biggest stars to enter the Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, who eventually eliminated Obafemi. So maybe that's the direction we go into. Maybe instead of Braun Breaker, Brock Lesnar, maybe it's Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42. I mean, that would be a lot of fun, but we got some time till we get to that. I mean, we had the whole El Grande versus El Grande thing, which if you went back and watched my Royal Rumble predictions, I predicted that the original El Grande would come back, and we got them in back-to-back entrance. We got the whole Spider-Man meme thing, and I thought it was great, first of all. Second of all, I'm happy to have the OG El Grande because he's a baller. He's great in the ring. So this is going to be a fun storyline. I'm wondering if we'll see that play out on WWE television or if we'll see that play out in AAA where the current El Grande Americano is a superstar. So we'll have to wait to see that. But there were so many other things. I mean, the debut of Powerhouse Hobbs, a.k.a. Royce Keys, was a lot of fun. So I think overall it was a good Rumble. The one thing I'll say, and I think a lot of people are saying the same thing, the pacing was a little bit weird. The entries were really fast, right? It felt like it was every 30 seconds instead of I think it was supposed to be every 2 or 3 minutes. There's an entry. Brock Lesnar's elimination, it kind of is similar to if you go back to last year when Drew McIntyre was eliminated. It felt like, oh, wait, and Drew McIntyre was eliminated. It was not a big enough thing, but it's literally Brock Lesnar, a guy who, since coming back after a 2-year hiatus, has been booked to be an absolute monster. He crushed John Cena at WrestlePalooza, and then he looked extremely strong in War Games. And then the third time we see him, yes, he had his moments. He eliminated some big names like Obafemi, but eliminated by LA Knight and Cody Rhodes in the midst of Jey Uso's entrance. It felt weird. It felt off. It almost felt like a mistake, even though it might not have been. It felt like a mistake. And then the whole running it back thing in the Rumble, it's for the people in the building. I understand that. It's not really for the television audience, but it really didn't translate to the television audience, at least in my opinion. But outside of that, I liked the Rumble. And the rest of the PLE was really good too. I mean, the women's Rumble, you got Liv Morgan. I mean, at this point, it's death, taxes, and Liv Morgan winning in Saudi Arabia. I mean, first ever crown jewel champion. She's won countless other matches in Saudi Arabia, and now she's won her first Royal Rumble there as well. Not to mention the fact that she dumped Raquel Rodriguez out, which leaves a lot of story to be told here between now and, I mean, who knows? Raquel has her sights set on the Women's World Championship as well, even after that street fight on Monday Night Raw. You had some young standouts. Sol Ruca made it to the final 3. Lash Legend was made to look like an absolute beast in that ring. So the Women's Rumble, I would say, showcased their young talent a little bit better than the men's. But I think it's also because there's so much young talent in the women's division that it feels like you didn't really need for story. You just enjoyed watching what they had to offer. There was storyline in that Women's Rumble, but a lot of it was just watching pure talent go on display, and that was a lot of fun. We had the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre gets his first retention, which means there are 2 very interesting world champions. Will either make it to WrestleMania. Will CM Punk still be the World Heavyweight Champion at Mania? Will Drew McIntyre still be the WWE Champion going into WrestleMania? I think more so than in previous years, that's a huge question mark, especially with how often world titles are changing on television and being defended on television. CM Punk didn't have a title defense from Saturday night's main event where he won it until the first Monday Night Raw of the year. And since then, he's defended it 2 more times against Finn Balor and AJ Styles. So how often is he going to defend it? Is he going to maintain that through Mania, or is he going to shut things down and say, hey, I have the title, I'm going to walk into Mania with it and not give out any more title matches? So that'll be fun to keep an eye on. And then, of course, Gunther officially retires AJ Styles. It was a terrific match, back and forth. AJ was playing the role of the underdog, fighting for his career, and you wanted to believe so badly that he was going to walk out of the Royal Rumble with his career intact. But Gunther has just mastered it. Everything. The art of pro wrestling seems to come naturally to Gunther. The psychology of that match is something that he seems to be perfectly in tune with. And at the end of the day, AJ Styles passes out and his career comes to an end. Now, there was the little thing where he didn't remove his gloves. He went to take his gloves off to leave them in the middle of the ring and then almost defiantly put them back on, strapped them up, and went on the top rope. So the question that I have coming out of it is he done? Is there a story to be told within WWE where he says, you know, I wasn't passed out, or whatever way they want to tell the story? Does he have more to give in the WWE, or is he headed to another company? I don't know if they would tell the retirement storyline and then allow him to come back in TNA since it's under the WWE umbrella. But the door is always there, the forbidden door, if you will, at AEW. So is there more for AJ Styles to do? We shall see. He said he wants 2026 to be his last year. As of now, storyline-wise, it's over in WWE and only February 2nd. So if he has more in the tank, I'm sure AEW would be happy to oblige and give him a contract. But at the end of the day, you look at that PLE, it sets us on the road to WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. And we have more questions than answers coming out of it. It created more questions than it gave us answers at the Royal Rumble. And that is exactly what you want that PLE to do. You don't want to have all the answers. Surprise me. Unveil things that I didn't even think of over the next couple of months. I'm excited to see it. But let me know in the comment section, what did you think of the 2026 Royal Rumble match and PLE as a whole? That's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.